What's up, y'all? It's Nate Almighty, and I want to bring y'all 3 special Rikers Island stories today, and these are the 3 most savage things the Bloods done while I was in Rikers Island, okay? These are 3 very special stories. If you've seen these stories before, they were edited even better now, you know what I'm saying? It's here, it's new. I put all 3 of these stories together for the people who don't have time to look through the playlist because I have hundreds of stories and videos in there. But these are 3 of my best. So go ahead, check that out. You got to stay tuned to the end of the video. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Thanks, enjoy. What's up, y'all? Peace. It's State Almighty, aka the Global Dark Skin Ambassador, man. I got a story, man, that I want to dedicate to my brothers from Staten Island, man. Staten Island, now, an underrated borough, very underrated borough. My father's from Staten Island. I got family in Staten Island, you know what I'm saying? I spent a decent amount of my childhood in Staten Island, and let me say this. Nigga, Staten Island is a dangerous place, all right? Staten Island is a dangerous place, okay? Stapleton, every Brighton involved in Staten Island. Staten Island is a dangerous place, man. Everybody I met in Staten Island, everybody I met on Rikers Island who are from Staten Island, dangerous fucking people, all right? Very dangerous people, okay? I would go on a limb and say the most dangerous people I have met on Rikers Island were from Staten Island. Literally. And this is no cap. This is no cap whatsoever, man. Very light on the capery, you know what I'm saying? These dudes, like, let me explain, okay? Rikers Island didn't have the biggest numbers. It's Rikers Island. Staten Island didn't have the biggest numbers. They didn't. But what they lacked in numbers, they made up for with violence and danger. You understand me? Do you understand me, okay? Now, for instance, the time that I was in Marjorie Lower, in Cortland and Harlem, had it on Smash, there was this one dude from Staten Island who came in. He was locked up for an attempt murder, which I believe he ended up beating. Right? Because they couldn't prove it. He ended up beating that charge and ended up going home. Well, that dude had came into Marjorie Lower and he was blood, and there was somebody who could vouch for him, so he was good. But he didn't just want to be good. He wanted to make an example. So what he did is, every opportunity he had to prove how tough he was without looking like a crash dummy, he took that opportunity. So he went out of his way to call out dudes for one-on-one fights, and he was winning these fights. He was not trying to stand on his name alone of just being a blood. He knew he was from Staten Island, and he had to show that where he come from, niggas was official, you know what I'm saying? So dude was tough, and he ended up moving and going somewhere. And ironically enough, when I came home, I threw a house party in my mother's house, and we had met some Staten Island chicks. Me and the brother Rich, my right hand, we met some Staten Island chicks at a rap showcase or whatever. And I threw a legendary party. Like, I had a stripper pole in my room, all of that. It was lit. Like, everybody was sliding, all that. We had some ecstasy juice, some Molly juice. You know what I'm saying? Gave the whole party, was lit. But I remember when the Staten Island girls came, she had came with some extra girls, and I was like, hey, y'all know my boy such and such? I forgot bro name now. I believe it's a V in his name. Something like that. I was like, hey, y'all know my boy blah, blah, blah? They was like, yeah, we know him. He came home not too long ago, right? And I remember they put me on the phone with him. He was too busy to come to the party because, you know what I'm saying, we was all the way in the Bronx. They were Staten Island. But they certified him right then and there. By the way, of all the Staten Island girls that came to that party, it's the one who was with me, her name is Sweets. She used to rap. I don't know if she rap now. I think she half black and white. Tall chick, Taurus. If anybody knows Sweets, Send Sweets this video. I miss her. We had good times. The way it went was wrong, and girl, let me make it up to you. I'm older now, and I got more money. Not that I'm a trick, but I take out on a nice date or something, you feel me? You dig, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, Staten Island dudes, literally every single Staten Island dude that I ran into on Rikers Island, and it wasn't that many. Rikers Island C-74 adolescents, 5, 6 dudes. All of them was locked up for a gun charge, attempt murder, or murder, period. Not robbery, not selling crack, heroin, nope. Violence, all violence. Like I remember it was a light-skinned fat dude, thick sideburns. He was locked up for attempt murder, I think. Like it was just, they all was just real violent, like all of them. There was one dude, see, I don't know the whole details of the story. I'll see if I could find somebody that I was locked up with that was there at the time. But there was this one Staten Island dude, I don't remember his name or nothing. I probably seen this dude one time in the morning before court. One time, all right? Now this dude was kind of tall, but wasn't the most brolic dude. But this particular dude actually beat up the CO. He was getting loud with the CO. He told the CO that he wasn't with none of that goofy shit. That the CO could take off his badge and they could shoot the fair one, right? So the CO took off his badge and they shot the fair one and he beat the CO up. The CO, you know what I'm saying, didn't put him in a box or nothing. But he became an on-the-low enemy of all the rest of the COs, you know what I'm saying? He got moved out of one house. Then he moved to another house. Got written up for some shit. I think they had a random search and then they found paperwork, like gang-related paperwork inside his cell that he didn't put there. You know what I'm saying? Like weird, like little weird stuff like that started happening to him, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know, man. These COs get embarrassed, they start violating, they do all this covert on the low stuff, you know what I'm saying? To violate, mess up your livelihood, you feel me? Corny. But that's a dude who let his nuts hang, you know what I'm saying? Another Staten Island dude. Now, I don't got a million stories of Staten Island dudes because I only got real cool with one, and then that one who I got cool with, I was only cool with him for like 2 months. And then he ended up moving and having his own life on Rikers Island, you know what I'm saying? But Staten Island is official, man. Even in rap, when people naming all the boroughs, it's like they go Bronx, Queens, you know what I'm saying, Manhattan, or they be like Harlem and Brooklyn. We don't say Staten Island enough, man. Them couple Staten Island dudes I met was more stand up than 90% of the dudes from every other borough that I met. And these is facts. Which make me feel good because, like I said, my dad from Staten Island, you feel me? My dad from Staten Island, his brother's from Staten Island, you know what I'm saying? It's good that I can say that I kind of represent Staten Island too, you know what I mean? And they was holding it down. They was fishing. They was keeping it G. You got an opportunity to beat the Bloods, beat the Crips, beat the Papias, beat the Latin. You can even beat your own meat. You can beat yourself up if that's what you really want to do in Rikers Island. But the #1 group of people who you have no wins with by far are the COs. They go by several names if you ask any inmates. COs, police, cops, and rent-a-cop.
We ain't gonna never get no pussy in these clothes.
But no matter what you call them, you better respect their gangsters. They are undefeatable. I'm talking about like they are like Thanos and Infinity Wars. You just can't beat them no matter how hard you try. So I'm gonna tell y'all a story about a time where a Latin king, he was tough, he was brave, he was official, but he challenged the wrong op. And the op was a CO. Not only the op was a CO, he was a blood from the Bronx. And when you're in Rikers Island, you will hear rumbles and gossip about certain COs being in certain gangs. But this was the very first time I seen a gang member who was a CO, and he announced it in front of everyone. And he spoke like a blood in front of everyone. So the Latin King got into a little tiff with the CO. He challenged him to a fight, and it did not work out on his behalf. And when I say it didn't work out, I mean it really didn't work out. Like it ended very, very badly. And when I say it ended badly, I mean it ended badly, and then some even badder shit happened after that. Now, first, I gotta paint a picture for you. I gotta, it's magic. I gotta paint a picture for you and let you know exactly the context around all this happened, right? So it's 2008. We in Marjorie Lower. This is a place where it's different from the cell houses. The cell houses may have up to 30 cells, and these are cells. So your doors get buzzed open, right? In the mods, there's almost twice as many people in there. There's 50 beds, but there's just beds, no cells, right? It's dangerous depending on who you are, because being that there are no cells, at any random point, somebody could just rock you in the face with a bunch of Core-Craft soap in a sock and just rock you in your face. They could drop their nuts in your face, which my mans actually did to somebody. I'm gonna tell that story in a later date, right? So look, we in Marjorie Lower, right? We mad deep. It's like 5, 6, 7 of us. We running the whole thing. My ATG niggas. Shout out to 2Gs like Gucci. Shout out to King Goon, right? We doing our regular 1s and 2s in Marjorie Lower. We chilling, walking around, occasionally extorting the day room dummies, occasionally slapping people around. I'm not proud of none of this, but this is just a couple of the things that we used to do, It's like when in Rome, do as the Romans do. When on Rikers Island, do as the Rikers Island niggas do, and that's, hurt people, beat people up, extort people, humiliate people. It just is what it is. Now, another one of the tough guys in there is the Latin King, right? The Latin King, he's like a not too tall, not too short dude, square-shaped head, one of those short, bold, like Spanish people haircuts. He's kind of stocky, but anyways, he's tough. This Latin King right here, he did have an issue with higher authority. Now, here's where the blood CO comes in. When we in Marjorie Lower, we had a regular CO. His name was Bell. Right? I think his name was Sean Bell. Maybe I'm confusing him with that person who the police, they took his life and shot him 50 times, but I know his last name was Bell. Tall, light-skinned cat, wavy hair, got all the bitches, right? All the female COs, right? Something was lit. On this particular day, Bell was not here. So when your regular CO is not there, they have to replace that CO with another CO who's just available to fill up that space. 3 o'clock comes, his shift starts. And the thing about 3 o'clock is, at 3 o'clock, they usually want every single inmate to go to their bed and sit down and be quiet for a while so they can do the count. The count is every couple hours, you gotta sit everybody down or send them to their cells so you can count all of the people in the cell house or the mod house to make sure nobody is somewhere they're not supposed to be, make sure nobody escaped, this, that, and the third. So the CO comes in. I'm not gonna say the CO's name because this would be dry since he's telling us to be quiet. Most people in the house are just being a little bit too loud. Everybody is at their beds, but people are just talking too loud. And I guess the CO was having a bad day because I didn't think it was that serious. He steps in, he says, everybody shut the fuck up. It's the count right now, and I don't want to hear none of you niggas talking. I'm not y'all regular CO. I ain't even want to be here today. And if y'all niggas not gonna listen to me, I'm gonna knock one of y'all little niggas out, and that's word of my hat. See this face I'm making right now? This is the face that everybody made once he said word to my hat. That's the first time I literally seen a CO incriminate himself like that. Well, it takes a lot of time and dedication to put these videos out. So go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you. Instantly, everyone shuts up. This is a grown man. He was 35 at the time. All of us inside the Marjorie Lower, we were all 16, 17, 18. We did not want no smoke with this man. He was entirely too big, and he was entirely too angry. I looked at him, I'm like, hey, we ain't got no wins here, buddy. Here's where the confrontation between the Latin King and the big blood CO happened. Somebody either did something wrong that they were supposed to do, or somebody did not do something that they were supposed to do. And being that he was upset about it, he took it out on everyone. He demands everybody to go to their bed, right? Around this time, I think he had one of those Latin King meetings that he was supposed to attend, and it was maybe one of those mandatory Latin King meetings. And the CO was basically hey, you're not going nowhere. Y'all don't listen. You're not going nowhere, right? And he yelling. But the Latin King is yo, I gotta go to the little library. It's important. It's about my case, this, that, and the third. He I thought I told you, you're not going nowhere. Y'all sitting at y'all beds for the rest of the tour, right? At this point, Latin King is heated. He's steaming mad. His face was turning red, and you could almost see steam coming out his ears, right? He was Fred Flintstone or somebody, right? The Latin King is a couple beds close to me. And I'm telling him, I'm like, yo, bro, chill. I'm like, yo, bro, chill. 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 But who am I? You know what I'm saying? I wasn't nobody. I was just a GFC dude that was there. I ain't have nothing to do with Bloods, Crips, Latin Kings, Patias, none of that. So I really had the right to tell him the truth. He had the right to go to law library. He was being denied access to law library, and he was mad, right? Blood CO, the big hat CO, right? After a couple seconds of seeing the hostility, hostilitic energy, I just made up a word probably, coming from the Latin King, right? So he gets straight to the point. He says, why are you talking to me like you built like that? You want to fight? Pussy? The Latin King, homie, he like, I ain't never scared. I believed him. Everybody believed him. Everybody knew the Latin King was tough. However, he was only like 5'7", 5'8". We talking about the COs like 6'1", 220 pounds. It's like an ant trying to have a fight with a fist. So the Blood CO, big hat CO, right? He says, oh, so you think you tough? So come outside then, holla at me. We had like a library, it's a little room with a whole bunch of books in it. Well, we all know what a library is, right? So they go in the library and immediately all you hear is do, 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 punch down, punch down, punch down, punch down. And then it sounds like somebody got slammed, right? Boom. Now at this point, a couple of us, we go to the front. Now, of course, we're not allowed to leave Martha Lower, but we have enough room to look outside and see the library straight from the entrance to Martha Lower. And we see a little bit of tussling. Do, 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 do. The CO from the other side goes into the library too. Closes the door all the way. You hear more tussling. Now it really sounds like they just stomping a mud hole in the Latin King. Like it's at this point, it's like he's done for, but he's not done for because it gets worse. If you're thinking about leaving, you don't want to leave. The door opens. Both COs leave the library. The CO from the other side goes to the other side. You see the CO that was watching us. He steps back into Martha Lower. His shirt is messed up, right? It's untucked. But as the library door is closing, you see the Latin King's feet on the ground. So he's clearly laying on the ground. Clearly, they did a number on this man. The CO gets on the walkie-talkie thing and says a couple codes. Both COs come, they take the guy, right? They take him automatically to the box. We do not see him at this point because we all had to go back to our beds. Now, usually if COs have to put their hands on inmates, they usually don't want to do no paperwork. The fact that they had to take him to the box means that something very, very, very bad happened because paperwork had to be written. Like I said, COs like to put in work. They like to beat niggas up and not have to do no paperwork. Next day comes along, I'm looking for every Latin King I know, right? And I'm questioning them. I'm like, yo, hey, you all what happened to your boy, such and such, such and such, such and such? And one of the Latin Kings told me, they're like, yeah, man, they put him in a box. He caught a new charge. I'm like, he caught a new charge? For what? They're like, assaulting the officer. I'm like, assaulting the officer? The CO asked him to shoot the fair one. King like, yeah, they sent him in the box. He caught a new charge for assaulting the officer. The officer said that he had to defend himself because the Latin King attacked him. Like, okay, that's a lie. But you know, the COs lie all the time. And King is also like, yeah, they also got his eye covered right now. He was in the infirmary for mad long. He's gonna have to have surgery. I'm like, surgery for what? They're like, yo, man, whatever happened inside the library, the CO fractured his eye socket. You know how hard you gotta hit somebody to fracture their eye socket? Not to mention, it started off as a one-on and he ended up getting jumped. So picture this, right? This is how unfair being locked up is. You get loud with the CO will tell you, let's get a one-on in. Bring you somewhere to have a one-on. Another CO will come in, they'll jump you, then they'll break something on you. One lower was exactly what they said was. It was like the whole house it would be one lower, one upper, and then it'll be one main north, one main south. Now, wait, no. It'd be one main, and then if you go downstairs, it would be one lower, and if you went upstairs, 2 flights, it'd be one upper. Now, at the time, one main, which was also called one main House of Pain, but it was the real House of Pain because this area was for all the really high certification dudes. Like I guess the dudes who who really got into the most trouble, the most gang affiliated, you know, the most fights, the most serious shit. So it was very YG heavy, which is a street gang from the Bronx. If you know, you know. Not going into detail. It was very blood heavy, which is a very known street gang. Not going into details. If you know, you know. Now, I remember being at one lower, and you could actually hear cells getting buzzed open because the COs had like a control panel where they pressed a button and a specific cell would open up. So I remember waking up early in the morning from a floor down from one main, hearing cells buzz open, hearing people run into people's cells and just start beating their ass, trying to make them with it. With it means you come, they have a certain hierarchy, and if you come in there trying to disturb the hierarchy and you're not going to let people extort you, and at the same time they don't know you, you don't have a well-known, respected name, the COs, so they won't have to deal with any paperwork or anything like that, they would buzz people's cells open and let the people who they allowed to run the house run up in your cell and basically beat your ass. So they had this thing called the chicken wing, where it was really like the full Nelson, where one dude would grab you, lock onto your arms would be out like that, he'll lock onto your arms, and he'll also lock onto your legs and then fall back on your bed, and then whoever else was in there would just boom, pound on your chest, punch on your face, like literally beat the shit out you. I've never had to deal with that. I've never went there, and honestly, I wouldn't be here making this video right now, because if niggas would have did that to me, I would have killed their ass. It's straight like that. I'd have made some type of shank, or niggas would have got a pencil, a knife to the eye, to the throat, and that's on me. Like, I never experienced that, luckily. But you know, there's stories going around where people who went there, you know, they'll get their ass beat and then they'll try to take a piss and they'll be pissing blood and shit. Like it was for real, like it was serious. But moving on, like I said, I still remember to this day, I can still hear it in my head. Just people getting their ass beat and they just screaming, CO, help me. CO's not coming because they're the ones who buzzed your cell open. You know, like they literally did this like often. Like whenever new people came in and either they'll beat you till they get tired of beating on you, or you could just say you with it. And you gonna let them do whatever they want. You're not gonna cause any drama. You're not going, you know what I'm saying? You just gonna let niggas extort you, and then you won't get beat for that long. Now, there used to be crip niggas that came to these blood heavy dorms. And what I used to respect about the Crips is not all of them, but quite a few of them, because they were smaller in number, they'll come in and they'll really be like official. Like they'll be realer than any bloods inside of the whole house or dorm. Like I've seen Crip dudes come in, you know, they make a bold statement and they'll just start fighting everybody. Like I've seen riots go down where it's one or two Crips, they're fighting everybody and they beating niggas up. Now they're outnumbered, so they end up getting smoked, but they beating niggas up. Like some houses within C74, they just got their name up to the point where no matter what gang you are, you just had to respect it. So then they went wherever they went, and some of them would just run the house. Like they would directly just go in there, and they'll find out who runs the house, and they'll say, listen, me and you, let's fight right now. Let's get it. I want this shit right now. They'll walk in there, turn the TV off, they'll say the house is mine. What's up? Like I've seen Crips do some real gangster shit. I've seen people from every gang do some real gangster shit. I've seen dudes that were more or less neutral like me do some gangster shit. Now I wasn't all the way neutral because I was banging a street gang. You know what I'm saying? GFC, God's favorite child. If you from the Bronx, you know. No need to even go further into that. But anyways, there was this Crip, and I remember his name. His name was Ice. Ice ended up going to one main House of Pain. Now, he was there for 48 hours. Ice went into one main. They asked him if he was going to be with it. He basically said, no. All y'all niggas suck my dick. What's up? Now, before he could start a commotion, the CO put him in his cell so a riot won't break out. Now, later on that day, or in the next morning, the cell was buzzed open. About 5 big-ass blood niggas rushed his cell. And how the story goes is, they beat the shit out of him. They put him in a Fort Nelson. They pounded on his ribs, pounded on his chest, pounded on his stomach. They kept asking him if he was with it. He was like, no, fuck y'all niggas. Trying to fight niggas, spit on niggas. And eventually, the blood dudes just gave up. They gave up and they left him there after they pulverized him. And from what I know of, this Ice dude was not very big, but he just had heart. Like, he was banging his set, and that's what it was. Like, you wasn't gonna do nothing to him. Now, the CO left him in his cell, left him alone. How the story goes is, he was curled up in his bed. He didn't ask to go see a doctor. He didn't try to tell on the CO. He didn't try to tell on nobody. He didn't try to get help. They tried to check up on cell, maybe like the next day, the next morning, and Ice died in his sleep. When the autopsy report came in, his lungs collapsed. His lungs collapsed and he suffered internal bleeding. And he basically died right there in his cell. Just for being official. This was a big thing. This was 2009. This was a big thing. The CO got arrested. I don't know what happened after that. But I know all the dudes involved, the blood dudes involved, they kicked them out of Rikers Island. They all had murder charges. And from what I remember, I believe they all just ended up telling on each other, including the CO. They all pointed the finger at each other. I don't know. The CO might have got off. I'm really not sure. Maybe he just got fired. You know how it be when you a cop or you a CO. Them niggas do the most foul shit and they get off. But I know for a fact, them other dudes, niggas got like 7 to life, all type of other stuff. And it was a tragic situation. There was a lot of back and forth blood and crip stuff going on after that. You know, as far as beef and riots and stuff like that I'm not going to get into. But that was the most tragic and most crazy thing that happened while I was on Rikers Island. I'm